Robert W. Service was 85 years old when he passed away in Monte Carlo.
Now in his 30s, he would venture north to Canada, where he would get a lot of inspiration for some of his most popular works, Laurel.
Even though Service never lived in Alaska, Alaskans loved the Englishman's poetry. They spoke of the adventurousness of those who came north during the Great Klondike Gold Rush. And it's not a surprise that his words resonated with so many people. In fact, historians have said that no other works have been so parodied or anthologized as his. And perhaps famous humorist Will Rogers said it best when he said that Service served the common man literary steak, well seasoned with plenty of calories and tasty trimmings.
When did Service move to Canada?
In 1904, he arrived in the Klondike. And as I said, he never lived in Alaska, but his poetry spoke to so many people. In fact, poems like The Shooting of Dan McGrew and Cremation of Sam McGee found their way into American folklore. The sensitive 30-year-old found Whitehorse and later Dawson stimulating communities to write his rhymes. And he didn't write just about Mother Nature, he wrote about human nature as well, like dance hall girls and rugged prospectors in the gold rush camps. In fact, he said once he found vice more vital than virtue, more colorful and dramatic.
A little well-rounded there, I guess we'll say. So when was his first book published?
His first book was titled Songs of a Sourdough. It came out in 1907 and was later published as The Spell of the Yukon and Other Poems. And that's when the world was introduced to the lady known as Lou and the men that don't fit in. Well, perhaps his later poem called Goodbye Little Cabin reflected what happened to him a little bit later when in 1912 he heard the world call. And he stuffed the manuscript of his newest book into his briefcase and hopped onto a steamer and left Dawson forever, along with those Arctic trails with their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. He was 36 years old.
Where did Service spend the rest of his life?
Service never returned to the Yukon. He spent the next 48 years far away. In fact, he had a very adventurous life, actually, serving as a war correspondent as well as a Red Cross ambulance driver during World War I. But then he settled on the Riviera with his wife and daughter and continued to write nonfiction, fiction, and poetry. He once said that he'd written 800 poems, but his goal was 1,000 if the Lord of Scribes would spare him the time to do the task. He died on September the 11th, 1958, very far away from the Yukon.